figured out this insane build on Lena where you just end up top net worth every game at minute 10.
Yeah, okay, well, I'd be picking her definitely then as well. But it's time. Let's jump into our first series because we want to get these games underway. It's going to be T1 up against Secret. And, T-Panda, is there a little bit of, I guess, general overview you can give about these two teams when they come head-to-head? Are there similar playstyles or overlapping heroes that we might see contested?
I think the hero pools are somewhat different outside of the top 5 meta heroes that are being picked. I think outside of heroes, the big striking difference here between these two teams is T1 has some of the top performers in the tournament, while Secret doesn't have a single player in the top 5 lists for any KDA, damage dealt, tower damage. They have nothing in there except for Nisha, who is a top 3 lane efficiency performer. And I think that is one really good statistic to bring out for Secret, because when we started this tournament, and I talked a lot about Nisha and how he had a rough year last year, how his start of DPC was a bit, mediocre, and he's looked really good with the last few events, and now especially when it matters the most in the LCQ. He has definitely upped his game a lot, and while that is happening, I feel like Team Secret is figured out how to utilize and amplify the best out of their team, and that's the reason why they are in the upper bracket.
Yeah, 100%. We see this player comparison too. You highlighting just how well Nisha is doing, but Thompson Fear is looking just as fantastic, if not better, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, Thompson, he's put on quite the performance at this tournament. His Primal Beast is the one that I'd like to spotlight the most. He's got a 2-1 with it, so he does have a loss with it, but every performance he's put on it, he's, that's probably why his KDA is so high. He's like going beyond godlike every game, getting tons of kills in the laning stage. He's also been pulling out the puck too, getting lots of kills on the map. He is the space maker for T1. He's the one that's going to be active, looking for the kills. And he's the reason why T1 is such an active team, because the mid laner for T1, he's everywhere in the early game. He's ganking, he makes it feel like you can't farm anywhere on the map. Yeah.
Is there anyone else on the lineup of T1 that you'd also like to highlight, Fia?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of players, but I'll start with Cuckoo first. He started off the tournament a little slow, couldn't find his hero pool, but now we know what he wants to play. He's got 4 matches of Undying, 75% win rate, 4 matches of Nature's Prophet, 75% win rate, and then he has 1 game of Venge, which he also won. Everything else they did not win with, so they're kind of like sticking to that type of formula to make sure that Cuckoo gets his hero. And also I wanted to touch on Anna real quick too. Like, he's done pretty well on Pudge. He's done super well on Slark and on Morphling, not losing on Slark or Morphling yet, but he has 3 losses with the Gyrocopter, so I'd like to see them like branch away from that specific hero, pick more of the Pudge, pick more of the Slark, pick more of the Morphling for T1.
It is nice to see T1 sort of, finding their groove a little bit more, especially on Anna's carry heroes that you talked about there. Overall, do you think they are hitting the expectations that people have placed on them? Kezu, are you impressed with Anna and Thompson being able to come back and do somewhat quite well?
I would say I'm that surprised. I feel like maybe about Anna a little bit, because some of the stand-in performances he's had before in the year, they weren't as good. But Thompson, I saw him in the pubs. I feel like, as Fears mentioned multiple times, he's just a very unique player, and when he has his heroes that he's practiced a lot and they're good in the meta, which is the case right now, then I mean, this guy just looks insane, and he's gonna make his teammates look very good.
Yeah, he's already put on quite the show, and we're only in the last chance qualifiers, not even actually at TI just yet. But we do have to highlight their opponents. The team that T1 will be going up against is Secret. T-Panda, give us some insight, not just Nisha. I know you've definitely been singing the praises of Nisha, but what about the team as a whole, especially with Resolution coming in more recently and that little bit of a roster change for Secret?
Well, in general, I think the offlane duo of the new additions, Resolution and Zayats, I mean, they've been in the team for a while. You mentioned Rezo only joined in some time ago. He sat in nicely with the team with their LAN performance. They've found a really good combo in how they want to approach the draft. What heroes do they want? How do they utilize it and execute from there? We have still a couple heroes we have not seen Zayats play because they're making him play Nyx, but he's playing a good Nyx. He's 5-1. He's 83% win rate pick currently. And with Rezo, they're saving his hero most of the time as a last pick, where he might see a lot of potential, like we saw a Darkseer come out in the last phase, like, whoa, wait, does this fit into the draft or not? And it's like, hey, he pulls out a massively good laning stage. And these two players have really caught my eye, and I think it caught a lot of people's eyes, because Rezo kind of showed how ready he is to play in this team, and he just sat in very nice. I think Kezu also agrees on that.
Yeah, like just to finish off that thought real quick and chime in, Secret, I feel like both Zayas and Resolution have performed really well, and from what I've seen in this tournament so far, your offlane duo is very important, because I feel like if they have pressured themselves already in the lane, it makes it easier for your mid laner to rotate there, and at the same time, maybe you don't have plays there. If they're doing well, which they usually are, because Rezo has been popping off in half his games, that's what allows Zayas to like roam around the map on some of his great heroes like this Nyx Assassin that we've highlighted and the Earthshaker.
Well, this game one draft is underway, and absolutely no surprises that we're going to see Marcy, Primal Beast, Enigma, Shadow Fiend there as our first bans. But Fear, with those bans, what are we letting through? What's going to be picked up as these opening picks?
Well, already missed an opening, Undying, but we're talking about T1 here. You know what hero did not get banned?
Venom.
The Venomancer. Yep, you got it. So, got to keep an eye out for that one. There's a chance they can pick it, and it's pretty good. They have a flexibility on T1 right now. This Undying, they're willing to play it on Cuckoo, on the boss 3 role. That's a very comfort hero for them, but they'll also play it on 5. So they do have room to pick a Veno to also kind of like flex in that role if they want to, but they're going to pick up Zayat's Nyx Assassin, as we talked about before. He was 5-1 with this, you said? Yep. Sounds like pretty good stat line to me.
Yeah, maybe a little bit better than that T1's Veno.
I mean, I like the idea that T1 starts off with the Undying, because it's also been one of the 4 heroes that they prioritized in Phase 1 between Primal Beast that is banned, the Venom that's already talked about, and then there's the Morphling, which they have sometimes gone for if they can't get themselves the Furion and the Venom combo. But I kind of still feel like there's a lot of room for this Venomancer. It's also 4 and 2 as a combo for T1.
If we, what do you feel like the Undying is most commonly played for T1, or do you think that that's something that is good for them right now, is the fact that it can still be quite flexible, Kezu?
I think they're very comfortable having it in both lanes, because as we mentioned, they have Morphling in like most of the games, especially when they have Undying. Now, perhaps the draft pans out in a way where you need a different 5 for the Morphling, or you just put the Morph mid. I would say that they're very comfortable in both. I think what was important for Secret here in this opening pick is to make sure that you pick 2 heroes against the Undying opening that feel good against Undying, but also against this closing pick of T1 in this phase, which very likely could be their Morphling yet again. It's something they've done in like their last 3 matches, the last 3 out of 4 matches.
Yeah, it's so good here. I think the Morphling makes total sense. Like, it lanes incredibly well versus Lesh. Thompson can play it mid against the Lesh. They can put it safe lane against the Lesh. And that's generally where the Lesh is going to go, right? It's going to go mid or potentially off lane with the Nyx. And you just can't pressure a Morph. You've got low base damage. Your damage is over time, so the tribute shift is always there. You can't burst them. It's just a really good pick. And I think that's super scary for Team Secret already, just seeing the opening from T1.
Yeah, it's also kind of an issue as well when you see Leshrac against Morphling, because Lesh usually hates burst damage a lot, so Morphling does set in nicely. And also Secret hasn't picked Lesh in first phase at all. It's been their last phase last pick, or second last pick into the draft as well. So I mean, it does give a pretty strong start for T1.
Yeah, I guess the other interesting thing that you did bring up is with this Morph is that they can either play it on Ana, or they can play it on Thompson. So again, a little bit of versatility there with that draft. But if you're Secret, how do you sort of ban now, Kezu? Are you banning more for yourself to protect, or are you banning for things that you don't want T1 to get their hands on?
So I think to also touch on the first phase a little bit more, Secret must have known this is coming. They did this like 3 out of 4 games. They also banned for the Morphling. I think one of the heroes he doesn't want to face is Enigma. It's very annoying. Then Shadow Fiend is something Secret has played a lot. So Secret probably picked the Lesh because it's one of their more open cores to play in multiple roles and then still get some counter picks going. And in terms for their bans, I think you just want to make sure that the Lesh is indeed open, that you don't leave like 1 or 2 heroes in that, okay, if they pick this, I don't want to go mid. If they pick this, I don't want to go safe lane.
Okay. What could some of those heroes look like, Fear, that T1 might then want to try and pick up for themselves?
T1, I'm more worried about Secret, about what they want to pick up against this, to be totally honest with you. Because, like, I mentioned before, just a second, like, this Enigma's the only hero that comes to my mind that can pressure a Morphling Undyingling. So I'm really worried on, like, what Secret is going to pick to combat that. And they have some bans here. They banned the AA on T1 to protect. They banned the Drow. There might be a Slark play later. We saw the Lina. As far as, like, the mid matchup goes, like, they have a 100% win rate on Morph right now in T1. Thompson's played it once, and Anna's played it twice. So they have the versatility to go, like, in both lanes here. So my eye is mainly just on, like, what is Secret gonna do? Because right now I feel like T1's in, like, the driver's seat of, like, the meta right now.
Okay.
On, like, where this draft is going. And Secret is, like, gonna show us something new here. And it's gonna be something we probably have not seen before, unless they're gonna opt for, like, the Lina or something.
Yeah, could be. I mean, T1, when they've gone for these second phase picks, Furion, they've always gone for it. I don't think there's room for a Disruptor when you already have the Undying, unless you're going to flex it around. Even though Disruptor might be nice against the Leshrac, but it's also pretty annoying to play when you have a Nyx Assassin on your opponent's team and you're just going to die potentially quite a lot on that hero. It does provide, but I don't think Disruptor's necessarily the pick they want to bring up. Maybe a Shaker with the Morph, maybe a Clockwork if they want to get some more initiation and vision power for this Morphling. I mean, I agree with you. I think Secret's in a pretty iffy situation. Like, I like the Chen edition here, but it feels like it still needs something to add in.
Casey, what do you feel like the T1 are going to be opening with here in this second phase, considering Secret trying to not give away too much and just picking up the Chen?
I feel like what would be cool here for T1 is that you pick an offlaner that gives you a bit more team fight, lanes well against Chen, and potentially builds a pipe in this game. I could see something like a Centaur or Tide combination come out just to solidify your team fight a bit more with the Morph or Undying. But this could also depend. So do they feel comfortable putting Undying in the offlane against the Chen? I feel like it's maybe not the best matchup because you don't deal so well with the summons. And with them picking Tusk here, they might just pick, so the Undying should already be a core.
Yep, they're going to flex this Morph, right? It's going to be either mid or carry.
Yeah.
Undying will be offlane for Cuckoo, and they've got their 4 and 5. But Oracle, that is a hero that I generally have very little faith in this patch, but against the Leshrac, they don't have a lot of, like, my problem with Oracle is, like, if you get on top of the Oracle, right, with some Night Stalker or something like that, the hero can feel, like, impossible to play.
Right.
But they don't have that right now for Secret, so they need to find a way to get on top of the Oracle, right?
I feel like Secret have a lot of good picks here. Summons are very good in this game. They have very little things they deal with. Like, for instance, a Lycan, which pairs really well with Chen. It's super good against the tier 1 heroes. It's also something they did yesterday against Morphling. Howl is super annoying for Morphling because his damage is, like, really high because he plays on mainly low HP with the full Agi. And I think that is one of the routes they could go. Night Stalker, as Fear was mentioning, is also very good. Night Stalker breaks these lineups that rely on their backline heroes to, save the heroes on the front. So I could see them go for something like this.
I mean, while we're waiting for that Secret pick to come out, just very quickly, this is actually the first time we're seeing Oracle in Last Chance qualifiers. It's been banned in the past, but has not been picked up. So, T1 coming out with something a little bit different there, and then Secret getting that Lycan two-hander.
Yeah, like Kesu said, the zoo is strong. You got a lot of creeps with Chen, and now the Lycan. I think they might have shifted up the priority of heroes that they want, because if you would have saved this Lycan for last phase, that could have been a very good ban for T1 to get rid of. They've picked this Lycan twice in the second phase, and they've won both games, just like the Tusk on T1 also won both games when they've been picked in the second phase. But, like, the utility for Secret is getting better with this powerhouse of what Lycan kind of is in a game like this. I'm just looking for maybe a pair up with this hero, but now that are they going to put a 3? Is Rezo going to be going on with the Lycan? Because they haven't picked their carry, they haven't picked Crystal as his hero ever in the last phase. It's always been Rezo.
Yeah,
I think the situation might change just based on how the draft progressed, but I think Rezo for sure will be playing the Lycan. Maybe there's a small chance Chrysalis will play the Leshrac. Very small chance, I think, but it could happen. I think right now if you're T1, you're definitely thinking about putting this morph mid and assume that's like a Nisha Leshrac, and maybe find something that can punish the Lycan, because Oracle does not punish a Lycan at all, and I think if you don't have that hero, I think the last time we saw this, Lycan was laying versus Undying, the Undying bullied it out, so the morph got free farm. A lot harder to get that space when your pos 5 is an Oracle, so they could pick something for Ana here that is a lot stronger in lane against like the Lycan, which could be like a Sven or something. And you can see Secret's kind of sniffing that out too. They banned the Bristleback, which would have been a great option too.
Assuming that Secret are going to be picking up the carry as their last pick, are there any holes or flaws that you feel, Kazu, are in their draft that they really need to kind of cover, or are they pretty open with what their last pick has to do?
I think what's important for them is that they do have very good team fight with the auras and the Lash running in and letting him tank up, but I would like to see them just have a hero that really complements the fact that your team is running in for you and that they're buying auras for you. So I would like to see them pick a hero that just scales very nicely, with damage, because he's going to have a Vlad's aura from his Lycan, an AC from his Lycan, and the heals coming out from the Chen. It's a little hard to say yet what it's going to be, because they're going to be picking their pick in response to what T1 will go for. But I would just like for them to seek more the complementary pick for their draft.
Yeah, you're laning versus Undying too, which isn't an easy task, but is Ursa in the pool? That's a hero that could work well versus the Morph and Undying.
Yeah.
But as I've seen a lot of Undying lanes, they seem to just win their lane no matter what they play against. So I don't know if you can play for like trying to win your lane.
I don't know if Crystallis would like to go for something like Viper or the Monkey King span. So yeah, the Viper and the Void are the ones that I'm kind of thinking. They don't really have synergy with the Faces Void necessarily, but it does give them some extra tools to fight with. But I think it has to be somewhat of a response pick as well to this last one that T1 wants.
Yeah, they'll see a little bit, but I think for the most part, Crystallis already sees his lane. So, I mean, there's a tide. Is this going to be a carry tide from Ana? I think it might. And they might put the Leshrac in the mid lane here against the Leshrac. I put the Morph against the Leshrac, sorry. And then this doesn't change a ton, I think, for Crystallis, because unless they want to do some lane swaps. Like, you mentioned the Void, but I've never seen Void do well versus Undying. Like, I just never... That lane's just too hard. So, very interesting pick here. Looks like Ana's going to do something creative and play a non-meta carry.
I could see something in this draft where you put the Lash safe lane and you pick... I just feel like you want whatever, ranged hero, whatever. Like, you could go for a Lina mid if that's something that they want to do. If Crystallis is comfortable on the safe lane Lash. Yeah, Ursa is also an incredible pick, as Fear mentioned.
Alright, well, we got this game 1 draft, nice and sorted now, and, you know, obviously T1, they couldn't be as straightforward as maybe everyone thought, but Kezu, seeing it, how you feeling? Which side is actually gonna be Thompson? Yeah, or, okay, yeah, see, there you go, T1 doing something not a lot of people are expecting, not even us here on the panel, but seeing where they're all going, Kezu, how do you think it's gonna shape up? How the laning phase is gonna be into the later part of the game, especially in the mid-Oracle?
Well, I'm not an expert on Oracle mid against Lash. I think that might be a farm trade lane, but I think both side lanes are in Secret's favor. I feel like T1... I feel like they started their draft off pretty strong, but I think they missed out on perhaps 1 or 2 bans, and their adjustments aren't really what I would have liked to see. So, especially seeing with Oracle, personally, I would prefer to play a Secret draft in this game.
Okay, and Phil, what about yourself? How do you think this one's going to be panning out?
I mean, this one's going to be wild. I think they have something in store here. Cuckoo picked up the Tide for himself, knowing there's an Ursa in the game. We mentioned how the Tide is good versus the Lycan. I think there's going to be some lane swapping in this game. I think this Tide is probably going to want to go against the Lycan. Secret's going to swap back. I think we're going to have some musical chair lanes here, and it's going to be quite an interesting early game.
And what about yourself, very quickly, T-Panda? Which team are you kind of siding a little bit with?
Oh, man. Seeing both these drafts, I mean, of course, there's a lot of interesting things. It's hard to say. If I have to pick, I guess I'd go with Kezu, and like I really like to play the Secret draft rather. But T1 playing some very good meta heroes right now. I don't know. Maybe Secret takes this one.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, let's jump into our very first series of the day. It's upper bracket best of 3 between T1 and Secret with your casters Seek and Strike and Pile I Die.
Thank you, Nat T. Thank you, lads. Yes, here we are, Pi game number 1 of the upper bracket semifinals. Victor here gets 2 chances to qualify directly to TI if they can get into that upper bracket finals already. And T1, they're kicking off the series with a mid lane Oracle. Have you ever seen anything like this, Pi?
Actually, I have seen it. Anyone who's caught Thompson's stream, especially a couple of months ago, you've seen him play this hero quite a bit with like various results. I don't know if this ended up being one of his favorites, but he did have decent success with it. And a lot of it is just people don't expect this early burst damage when an Oracle gets these many levels.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be key, right? What your combo early on with 204 on Purifying Flames especially is it's a mad amount of damage. It's over 500 and quite spammable at that.
Yeah, and what I remember, usually he tries to go for a really early Ags, which is not a very common item either, right? Like if you have a position 5 Oracle, you never get that Aghanim Scepter. And
Reign of Destiny.
Yes, and no one really knows what it does, right? And so yeah, if you stand in it, you take a lot of damage. If your teammates stand in it, you heal them more. So like that's basically what you need to know. It's quite exciting.
I agree. How well this will fight into an Oracle, how well this Oracle will fight into that is an Ursa, a Lycan, of course Puppey as well with summons. Just a lot of heroes that tend to want to run and get, directly in his face. Zayas as well here on the Nyx Assassin. So I think spacing is going to be of the utmost importance. But with the supports here for T1 being, of course, this Tusk and Undying, I think, and of course having Cuckoo here, not to mention, like they've got a really solid front line to protect him.
Yeah, I mean the only thing I would worry about is all these summons, right? Like you said, like just clearing them out in lane, in team fights. So hopefully Cuckoo has a decent game at least, because they're gonna need this anchor smash.
Okay.
And they're putting Lycan mid here. It's quite smart.
What are you looking to avoid here between that mid lane matchup if Nisha were to go mid?
I mean. Even if Nisha goes mid, right, it's a fine matchup. It's just maybe a little Oracle favored or completely even. I believe this should be a very Lycan favored lane.
And it's just because the Wolves do much more work here against Oracle is the thinking?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you start getting up, when Lycan starts hitting level 3-5. I don't see Oracle getting a CS without using a nuke,
We'll see if we'll have the mana to sustain it. Already tanking creeps a ton here is Thompson. Early, but he did already deal with the Wolves. It's a couple of more for him, but a nice little disengage with the Fortune's End. Eager to see how well Thompson can play this. I think Nat said it was the first overall Oracle pick in the entire tournament. Liquid's playing right now. I thought maybe they would have, given it a go. Insania really, really likes this hero, and he really makes it shine. But instead, it's Thompson on mid lane here. So
yeah,
really excited to see how he gets things done. So far, pretty good. 9-0 versus 7-1. But Nisha is having to skip some creep waves up top lane as a result of, well, just Whitemon existing. This Undying, man, so strong.
Yeah. This is one of those lanes, though, where Nyx and Leshrac, you will see them struggle early, but then suddenly you get to that point where Nisha gets a few levels in Edict, and the Undying just starts dying. He can't play this tanky role anymore. So, yeah. They just have to try to get some levels. But Syek is doing a really good job here, pulling waves. So there's no problem for them at all.
Second straight that they've managed to pull now. And the Undying attempting to, not sure, maybe try and scout elsewhere, but like you say, they just need the levels. Undying, of course, Whitemon, he brought all this consumable regen to lane. He's going to be a little bit disappointed he's not really getting the fighting lane that he'd want. Yeah. 5 mangoes and a clarity. I mean, he's actually got no permanent item in his inventory. Everything's going to disappear here eventually.
Yeah. What you have to say, though, is like Nyx is contesting Morphling, right? And Undying is contesting Leshrac. And you can see how that pans out on the CS there, where, okay, it's evened out a little bit, but Morphling does have quite a bit few more CS than Leshrac.
It's even with 4 base armor and a decent amount of HP regen. He's just really no match. I think like Fear was saying during the panel segment, Nyx just can't threaten. The nukes are not high enough on Impale. His attack damage is, minimal, less than 50.
Yeah.
And the only other lane we haven't really touched on, hold that thought actually, is top lane. They're making a play onto Whitemon, and it's even a kill there for Nisha. Zayat setting that one up with a really nice Impale.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. You're Undying, you think you're invincible, but then these heroes with a lot of nukes, right, they get a few levels and you die.
I wanted to take a quick look down bottom, where we haven't really talked about this one too much, but this was, I believe, a 24th pick Tidehunter into already a basically established Ursa lane. Cuckoo doing phenomenal, though, in these early waves, 17-3 compared to 16-0. Is this going to start to look a bit more difficult as Puppey gets perhaps a second point in Holy Persuasion?
Yeah, and it's also just Ursa levels in general, especially when you have a Tusk as your 4. But the early game, yeah, he's doing a good job. I'm pretty sure they did pick the Ursa into the Tide.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Pardon me then. Pardon me. Then yeah, I guess right now the name of the game for Secret is just get levels, right? Because all their lanes, it sounds like we've settled on, have started to get a bit stronger with more experience.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm still so excited to see this Oracle, like what he'll accomplish. Like apparently he has no problems last hitting here, right? I thought he would struggle a bit more versus these wolves, but what is it? 27 last hits. That's basically every last hit with my math. So that's really good.
Yeah, probably a couple of extra wolves as well. Wrong summons. I mean, yeah, he gets through these wolves fairly easily, doesn't he? 400 HP on them. They do have really good magic resist, but Oracle has just got overwhelming magic damage, it would seem, at this stage of the game for them.
Yeah, it appears that way.
Doing just fine as well, CSing under tower. Good Thompson.
Yeah.
On bottom, Tempest for Puppey. Threatening onto Cuckoo. Needs to make sure that Fury swipe stack never gets too high, otherwise that's the only way he really takes a death in this lane.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I'm wondering if because what I expected was like every lane for T1 was gonna get really hard eventually. Like when you get a lot of high level wolves on Lycan, like the Oracle doesn't want to be mid. When he gets like, you know, upgraded boots on Ursa a few more levels, then like playing for the Tidehunter gets really hard.
Whitemon, Thompson's ganking, sorry, level 6
Yep.
here. Whitemon was tanking a lot of spells. They also could have killed down bottom onto the Tusk, but dive underneath the tower goes Anna, and receiving the kill is Thompson. Nice little combo there with the Fortress End Purifying Flames. Down goes Nisha.
Yeah, you can try to dodge him, but come for you. Watch out for Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in that sense, the Oracle, especially with pretty good cast ranges, considering the laning stage, makes a very good surprising ganker. However, down bottom, they're making a play onto Cuckoo. The TP away, Cuckoo. Woo, they needed one more stack there on the Fury swipes. He will make it safely back home.
That's 0.3 seconds away from disaster. When you die without TP, that's a walk of shame, as they say.
And a very slow walk for the Watermelon. He's got phase boots though, actually. Coming along very nicely for his itemizations. But mid lane, some lasting damage done to this tier 1 tower with the first wagon. Rezo already with the Helm of the Dominator. Pardon me, and a Centaur Conqueror showing in the mid lane.
Yeah, so Rezo's farm is really good, of course, as expected. But I mean, Thompson has kept up just as well, right? And me personally, I expected Secret to do a little better in every lane, but yeah, let's see here. Now it's time for Lycan to show his worth.
Yeah, and Cuckoo's already made the rotation over to the mid lane. There's going to be an Impale onto Zephyr, Snowball forced out onto the Wolves, but a nice bit of micro there from Rezo is going to secure him the kill.
Yeah. I mean, you have this... Okay, maybe it's fine. Level 4. He's gonna hit level 5 here with Tidehunter. Can probably hold
they're
mid.
going to go top again. Thompson at least making the rotation over, but is going to continue making his run. Might run into some trouble himself, though, with Zayat and Rezo. Heading into the dire side, though, and Thompson's going to deviate south into the jungle.
He wants this stack.
Oh yeah, actually. Thompson is stealing a stack in the meantime.
Dude, dodging certain death. Lycan and Nyx coming from you behind, you know? You just walk even deeper and steal their stacks.
It's a big stack. It's a triple stack.
Oh, who's drawing there? Okay, so Nisha is drawing. I think he knows. Thompson is back there. Yeah.
This Thompson guy always going 404 on every single mid laner.
Look. Oh, this is dirty. Oh my god.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
Thompson now, all of a sudden, he leaps to the head of the board for last hits and denies. His net worth as well, reflecting nicely, 3,600, as they're going to make the play onto Zayat. Gets up a nice Impale, though, in the spiked Carapace, but surrounded by T1 heroes, he will fall.
Yeah, then that's where you see the Oracle, right? Like, Purifying Flames there maxed out at 7 minutes. It's a lot of damage. And he's also going for the Axe, so that will be cool.
So he actually went for Fortune's End first, as it helps him farm a bit faster with that AoE damage. He's just running into the middle. So the Centaur Coursers, right? What is it? The 10% magic resist aura for free, basically.
No, yeah, for sure. And yeah, speaking of Puppey, he's had a really nice lane. Like usually when you see who won a lane, right, you only look at the core players. But if you compare the supports here, Puppey's actually ahead of the position 4 with 800 gold. And I think he has mech coming.
There's full mech, 10 minutes.
Yep, very strong.
Mech buffed as well in 732. Recipe cost decreased, but I think most importantly, especially early, this cooldown going down by 15 seconds. And T1 dropping a tombstone here. There is no point in Ravage. Now, if they can get a kill, Tide will probably get up to level 7 here, and he can commit for the point. But right now, T1 just trying to run at enemies and not a lot of lockdown at their disposal.
Yeah. No, I guess they can try to like snowball in, right? But it's not the easiest. They don't have the easiest initiation right there.
A nice play by Nisha, even though he's not the mid laner. Of course, he knows one of his objectives here is definitely that mid tier 1 tower. He's gone for the sampler build here on the Lesh 2-2-2-1, and coming along very nicely for his farm and experience as he's catching back up after having to split experience with Zayats in the lane.
Yeah. But, I mean, Secret are chugging along. Everyone's getting decent farm here. I guess only Nisha has a little catch up to do, but he's still level 8, 11 minutes. It's not bad at all. And he's a Leshrac, so if there's farm, he can farm it.
He'll find it. And I think that sentry might have just caught Zayats on his way out of its range. For now, I think Secret, they're going to be fighting as mainly 4, but only for a couple more minutes, as Crystal is actually almost completing his Diffusal Blade down bottom. We might see him get a bit active early. Of course, the Ursa already having a bit of a favorable matchup against the Morphling naturally because of the Fury swipes. You don't really want to shift one way or the other against that kind of thing. But now Mana Burn as well.
Okay, setting up a kill on Rezo here, but he's very fast.
Yes, the root as well was a minimum cast, but very nice Ice Shards out from Zephyr. Forces Rezo the other way around. Thompson as well is going to go ahead and false promise himself to not die to the summons, but a nice stun from Zayats, I believe, onto 2 or 3 maybe.
There's a lot of damage on him.
Thompson here. Oh, he's still going to drop. Rezo picks up the kill in exchange for Zayats.
Yeah, no, that's Lycan versus Oracle for you. Even when you have 5k net worth. You just die to minions.
Be a bit painful for him, especially as Secret. Again, Crystal is, not really deviating from this bottom lane at all. In fact, he's going to see this tower go down while he picks up his own Diffusal.
Yeah, no, Secret are playing the map really well. Like, they're gaining a lot of farm. Even though, like, the kills are basically even, right? They already had 3k gold. And they're 2 towers up? Yeah.
2 towers, yeah.
Middle tower is under attack.
Maybe they'll try to go mid here with no Lycan ulti. But it's not that easy. Puppey's still strong, like he has mech.
Yeah, Puppey is really strong. He did use Hand of God in that previous exchange. He doesn't have that one at least, and he's got to be in the vicinity for that mech to kick in.
But look at these tornadoes!
Yeah. Cuckoo. He has Ravage, as there's going to be the jump onto him now. Look at that, the Enrage is going to allow Crystals to shrug this one off with a snowball onto 2. They make the jump, and Ana, and getting involved early, is there for the kill. Nisha doing a lot of AoE damage, surrounded by 4, taking them down one by one, but Puppey cannot keep him alive despite his best efforts with the mechanism. As T1 now sent scattering. Wow, the Helm of the Overlord already finished.
Yeah.
Black Drake here.
I think they might have had a little bit of a communication issue there where I think Resolution just finished it and he really wanted to get an Ancient Creep. So he showed up a bit late. And so maybe Secret could have waited before they committed in there.
Yeah, but just look at this damage that the Nisha gets to do in this fight. 3,100. This is why having some heals, even for some time, there was a Wisp Lesh strat running for a couple of weeks. The longer you can keep this guy alive, the more damage is going to output. It's almost that simple.
Yeah, no, he's really strong. I think you saw the Ursa there go in and go down, so to speak. I think he overcommitted with the, what is it, the little Earth jump?
Earthshock.
Yeah, Earthshock, yeah.
Front flip.
They let the front flip squiddly do. He probably should have kept that to get out. But
Chris, I think he wanted to stop a Ravage from coming through maybe, but Cuckoo just a little bit too tanky in the early game. Now has a Sanj.
It's a Roche though.
That's a Roche without the Ravage to fight. Chris Secret feel like T1 can't reasonably contest, and they're right about that. T1, they make no moves. Instead, they're going to head down bottom where Ana picks up the first tower of the game in favor of T1.
Yeah, that's something. Like, if you don't at least pick up that tower, you start feeling kind of bad. But now you're like, all right. Waiting Ravage, we got a tower. It's all good.
Yeah. And I think Secret have done extremely well with these, like reading the map. Nisha especially has been a highlight for me. Yeah, both teams doing it as well, right? Secret are doing Roche, T1 do the best of their space, they look to go bottom. Secret sees them take bottom as they expect, Nisha goes top, takes a tier 1 tower for free. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm just really curious how these team fights from now on are gonna pan out, because both teams, they believe that they can be the ball that you can't run into. You have T1, right? They have Ravage, they have Tombstone, and they're gonna have this Axe and Oracle, which deals a lot of damage and heals. But at the same time, Secret have Chen, right? And they have Leshrac, so like it's gonna be this, what is it, unstoppable force and meets the whatever.
Yeah, it feels like a Secret. They see themselves as the unstoppable force. T1 maybe, especially with Reigns of Destiny now on the way for Topson. Cuckoo, of course, threatening with a Ravage, a Tombstone placed down. They might be the immovable object in their own eyes.
Yeah, because that's what I expect them to believe from their own lineup. So I'm curious to see when they clash here eventually.
I mean, we might get that treat here sooner than we think. Crystallis showing in the mid lane where the rest of the team is kind of baiting him, smoked around him. Zayat's planting down an Observer Ward. That's going to see Whitemon immediately. Gets the Tombstone up. They're going to get the D Ward, and happy with that. Zayat's, just fast enough there to evade the Ice Shards. It's Tombstone down. Secret can just wait this one out. Maybe even push mid in the meantime.
Yeah, just go from the left here. So now you've lost your Tombstone. You're definitely weaker. You might even have to give up the tower. So let's see.
That'd be a second tier 1 tower already in the first, 2 minutes of this Aegis?
Yeah, I mean, and the issue here is like Topson is on an Oracle, right? He's not this Ember Spirit free farming while Secret are committing 5 heroes. He's just sitting with his team, not getting any resources.
He's nuking a range creep from Fog.
Yeah.
That's about it. And as you can see, the double Tempest, the rarity. I grew up in the Midwest, Pi, where we had the tornadoes coming. Oh, Lord, if I saw 2 of them.
Double trouble.
Double trouble from Puppey, absolutely. And down goes the tier 2 tower. I mean, Secret, more or less, it feels like they've been uncontested in a lot of their map movements. They weren't let into the triangle by the Tombstone placed down. But other than that, they'll go ahead and just move as to where they please and take that tier 2.
Yeah, so far very smooth, easy game for them. Like there's no rush for them. Like as you said, running into this triangle, that might be maybe a bit too difficult, even though they're quite a bit ahead right now. So they probably should just keep farming like this. They're just constantly gaining gold. Getting more and more ahead.
So you yourself admitted you're a bit of a Topson stream enjoyer. When did this Oracle look at its peak, When did it look strong to you and kind of made you go, what is he doing, from that to, okay, this is maybe legit?
I mean, honestly, I'll be honest, I don't ever think it was that strong.
Okay.
Let's hear, they might jump in mid.
Okay, and they will. And with Zayat's nearby, they've got the kill.
Yeah. So yeah, a little bit of Topson stream lore. I believe he spammed Oracle at the same time as he was spamming Zeus. And in this period, I think he was losing a lot of MMR, so... but, I mean, it's not like he lost every game.
No, of course not.
Alright, T1 getting chased down here.
Yeah, that's going to be another easy kill for them. Team Secret showing off their voice lines as well in the supporter pack. Yeah, I mean, it sounded like, as well from that, I remember from that period of time, everyone was talking about the 404 Zeus, the 404 Zeus this and that, it's so good, and then even Nisha started really impressing some people with it over at the Riyadh Masters. That's about the time I recall this happening. I don't remember a lot of people saying much about the 404 Oracle, but here's a kill. Yeah,
nice.
Something
Are they
for T1.
Okay, so Crystallis is TPing here. I don't know.
As well, giving chase. It's got a full Bloodstone. Probably the one of 2 heroes in the entire game right now that feels comfortable buying this item this early, especially.
Oh, which one? What's the other one?
Maybe a Storm.
I don't think so. I think this is the hero. And the funny part, right, is that it's completely bonkers on Leshrac. Like, it's so broken. I'm a bit surprised we haven't seen it more. Because in pubs, I have to play this hero a lot.
Zephyr. Oh, he thinks better about going up to that high ground where Secret, of course, are lying in wait. They've got an Observer as well. That would have been a bit of a scary jump to make, especially because Rezo sitting on the last couple seconds of this DD rune. And speaking of last couple of seconds, Crystallis' Aegis is going to be reclaimed. Decent progress here made. Good accomplishments under first Aegis, would you say, for Secret?
Yeah, I mean, they're completely fine with how this game is going. I'll just speak for T1. Like, it's just a bit unfortunate when you pick this kind of tempo type hero mid, like an Oracle, that you want to get your Ags and then go. And then you do finish your Ags, and now it's been 5 minutes with your Aghanim, and you haven't even used the spell once.
Yeah,
So that's not very comfortable for you.
yeah, and I mean, it's unfortunate for the Oracle. It's not an Axe that's going to help him farm or anything like that, right? It's a team fighting Axe. That's where we'll see it shine. And well, the only kind of time he's been engaged on, he's gotten 100-0 during the lockdown from Chrysalis and Zayats.
Yeah. Actually, I do think you can farm with it.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen him use it yet.
No, I mean, there hasn't been anything to farm, right? Like, Secret have held the map very, like an iron grip.
Here they go now. Cuckoo. Taking this one on all the ice shards, though, and every little thing. Zephyr's in real deep.
Oh, here's the Axe. Oh, going more. Uh-oh. Wow, that could have been so much worse for T1, and it could have also been so much better. Unfortunately, Thompson got caught by Nick stun, so he couldn't. Like, Anna was going in full glory blazing because he was expecting Thompson to save him, but Thompson got caught by some stray stun, and yeah, Anna just dies. Fortunately, they almost all of them managed to TP out, so it's not too bad.
Yep, not too bad. They get a tier 1 tower for their troubles, and still a kill onto Puppey and a kill onto Rezo. Means they don't leave the fight completely empty-handed. But I think any fight that Secret can walk away from and then immediately move onto the enemy side of the map is a fight that honestly they're not too displeased with. A fight that means they don't take, you know, a bunch of tower damage, maybe lose a major objective. They're probably okay with that, as we'll take another look at the fight.
Yeah, no, because what I wanted to say here now when the fight begins, right? You think like this initiation is kind of botched, like it's not looking good. But then the immovable object, right? Like the Secret tried to run in here, but what happens? They have to run away. Look, you can't fight this tombstone.
No.
Look, Nisha trying to man up, but they have to run. But this is when the unfortunate thing happened. Look here, look at Thompson. I believe he gets stunned in the back here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, he doesn't manage to save his buddy Anna, and that's what Anna expected the save there. So, very well played by Sayak to get that.
They got to bail out of that fight pretty quickly. Secret, in the meantime, they find a free pickoff onto the Tusk. Nothing too major. Tusk now does have Blink Dagger. He did manage to amass the gold for that. So Snowball save, False Promise, now both an option. We'll keep our eyes out for that one, as Secret might not be expecting the Tusk Blink at this exact moment.
Yeah, no, a very good pickup. I think, do they have all their spells? Ravage and 6? Yeah, they should fight again. Like, there's no need to wait there. And I'm not sure about Secret posturing here. Let's see.
T1 holding a ward.
Yeah, T1 should definitely try to fight there. Like, they should go, go, go. Don't let him get out.
They're going to smoke up. And Chrysalis is going to make it out of the jungle with a Ancient Granite Golem in tow. That one's Rezo's, of course. Zayats as well with his own Blink Dagger.
Yeah.
They're out for some more fantastic initiations. He found, I believe, a couple of 2-man impales, 3 even in that last instance, in that last engagement.
Yeah, Roche is up, right? Yeah.
There's number 2. It's always a big one. That's always one that Ursa has his eyes on.
Oh, they cannot let them have this. Like, this has to be a fight. Yeah, second smoke. Smoke into smoke. Let's go.
They go now. They're going to be holding the Ramp of Death. Roche already down to half HP. It's even just a small win if right now they can force Crystals out of the pit, but they can't. Oh, they're not fast enough, Pi.
I think they should fight anyway. But Seekers are smart. They're not like rushing in.
Nope. No, they're really just showing and sacking the Ancient Black Dragon right now.
They're ganking a Black Dragon. Unfortunate.
250 gold. That's a loss that Secret can afford to take right now.
Yeah. No, I really wanted them to go a little more crazy there. Like, should have tried harder to find that fight.
Knights and Crystals, maybe a bit of a hunting duo, but definitely respecting the position in here from T1, especially, of course, with the, I think that's an Observer, yes, indeed, out from Secret on the cliff.
Yeah,
I thought White Mountain was going to commit a tombstone there to deward for a second.
Yeah, I mean, because the awkward part now for T1, right, is just they have one hero farming, and yeah, they're just sitting fight together. So the gold is just going to keep going up and up and up for Secret.
And this Ursa is going to continue to scale very nicely, right, with a free Ag Shard, heading into Basher, Abyssal next. You know, he's got plenty of items he can still really look to go for.
Might have a fight coming here. Ana.
Oh, he's just in. Look at that, right on a White Mom, but they can't burst him. He does get the tombstone down to the high ground. Crystallis disarmed by a second is going to BKB up. Nisha is going to actually find the stun on the Topson, and he forces the Reigns of Destiny and the False Promise both onto him. Crystallis will find his man eventually here. So down goes White Mom. They're not fighting underneath tombstone anymore, as well as Cuckoo now is being focused onto Crystallis. They get through Ana as Rezo and Zayats, I think, are going to collect him. Topson on his high ground. Zephyr doing what he can with a brief Walrus punch, but I think he's not safe here. Yeah, Impale's going to catch him. Crystallis, the last of his mana here for the overpower, and an full team wipe in favor of Team Secret.
Yeah, very nice for Secret there. It's unfortunate, like if you see right, they didn't even get to use Ravage. Like Ana kind of waveformed away by himself, and then they were split up. With Whitemon already dead early too. And after that, it's just very difficult to fight.
Yep.